The Yamaha garage was not just quiet on Tuesday afternoon. It was tense. Cameras caught hurried glances, mechanics spoke in low voices, and one of MotoGP's biggest stars disappeared behind closed doors. Fabio Quartararo, the 2021 world champion, had just walked away from his bike after a high-speed crash that instantly changed the mood of the Sepang Test. Moments earlier, the Frenchman had been attacking Turn 5 at full commitment, pushing Yamaha's new prototype to its limits. Moments later, he was in the medical centre, and the whispers began. Was this just another testing incident? Or the first serious warning sign of Yamaha's fragile 2026 project? By the end of the day, the answer was clear. Quartararo would not only miss track time, he would abandon the rest of the Sepang Test altogether. And behind the scenes, frustration was boiling over. Fabio Quartararo has been officially ruled out of the remaining 2 days of the MotoGP Sepang Test following a heavy crash on Tuesday morning. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider suffered a fast fall at Turn 5 during the early session, prompting immediate medical checks at the circuit's medical centre. Although Quartararo courageously returned to the track later that afternoon, it soon emerged that the crash had not been without consequence. The French rider sustained a fractured finger, an injury significant enough for Yamaha to reassess the risk of continuing the test program. Monster Yamaha team manager Massimo Meregalli confirmed the decision shortly afterwards, explaining that the team and rider agreed it was wiser to stop. His arm is a little sore, but the finger is broken, Meregalli said, so we decided to stop for the next 2 days. I think it is for the best. Quartararo himself admitted that under race conditions, he would have pushed on. Testing is a different equation. Of course, if it was a race weekend, I could continue, he explained, but there is no point continuing for 2 more days. It is a bit sad because I really wanted to ride, but for the first race, it is better. The crash itself left Quartararo searching for answers. I lost it directly. I don't really know what happened, he said. It was a fast crash and I went deep into the gravel. Unfortunately, not lucky today, but it could have been much worse. As a result, Quartararo will now have to wait until the Buriram test on the 22nd of February in Thailand to resume his pre-season preparations. A delay that comes at a critical moment for Yamaha. Thanks to Yamaha's concession status, Quartararo had already completed 2 full days of running during the Sepang shakedown, giving him more mileage than most frontline riders. Yet despite the extra track time, the verdict from the reigning Yamaha leader was brutally honest. The bike is still very, very far from where it should be, Quartararo admitted. We tested many things, especially over 1 lap, but we know what we are missing. More than speed, it is consistency. This is where the bigger concern lies. Quartararo's frustration is not just about a crash or a broken finger. It reflects a deeper unease inside Yamaha's project. While rivals continue to refine proven concepts, Yamaha is still searching for fundamental performance, particularly in race distance competitiveness. The introduction of a new V4 direction has promised long-term gains, but the immediate reality remains harsh. Sepang was meant to be a statement of progress. Instead, it has highlighted just how much ground Yamaha still has to cover before the opening round. For Quartararo, the priority is now recovery, physically and mentally. Before Thailand. For Yamaha, however, the pressure is mounting. Losing valuable test days was not in the plan, and neither was seeing their lead rider leave Sepang openly admitting how far they remain from the front. The paddock may calm down by the weekend, but the message has already landed. Yamaha's 2026 challenge is under strain, their star rider is bruised, and the road back to the top looks longer and rougher than ever. What made the situation more volatile was the emotional state inside the Yamaha garage. Quartararo's visible frustration was not simply the result of injury, but of a test program that once again failed to deliver clear reassurance. Observers noted tense exchanges and a noticeably subdued atmosphere as engineers regrouped following the decision to shut him down for the remainder of the test. From Yamaha's perspective, the timing could hardly be worse. Sepang traditionally offers the clearest early indicator of a manufacturer's true winter progress, and losing their lead rider midway through the schedule immediately blunts the effectiveness of the data gathered so far. Even with extensive shakedown mileage, nothing replaces continuous development under full factory test conditions. There is also the psychological aspect to consider. Quartararo has carried Yamaha's project almost single-handedly in recent seasons, often extracting results beyond what the bike suggested was possible. Incidents like this, especially when paired with blunt public assessments of performance, risk deepening a sense of fatigue that has quietly followed the Frenchman through the paddock. Technically, the crash itself raised questions. Turn 5 at Sepang is fast but stable when the platform is predictable, and riders rarely fall there without warning. While Quartararo avoided blaming the machine directly, the lack of clarity over what triggered the incident will only add to Yamaha's list of concerns heading into Thailand. The fractured finger may heal quickly, but the lost development time cannot be recovered. Buriram's stop-start layout and different grip profile will present new challenges, meaning Yamaha may arrive still searching for answers that were meant to be found in Malaysia. In contrast, several rival manufacturers leave Sepang with clear direction and growing confidence. Internally, Yamaha remains publicly calm, emphasizing patience and long-term vision. Yet within the competitive reality of MotoGP, time is a luxury few factories truly have. The sport's current level demands precision from day one, and any hesitation risks being punished brutally once the season begins. For Quartararo, the enforced pause may provide a rare opportunity to reset. Stepping away from the bike could allow him to return to Thailand with renewed focus, rather than pushing through pain and frustration during a test that was already proving mentally draining. However, questions will inevitably follow him to Buriram, not just about fitness, but about belief. Belief in the direction Yamaha has chosen, and belief that the gap to the front can realistically be closed within the coming season. As the Sepang Test moves on without one of its biggest names, the headlines may fade, but the implications will not. This was more than a simple testing crash. It was another reminder that Yamaha's rebuilding phase remains fragile, and that Fabio Quartararo's patience, like his finger, is being tested to its limits. The wider paddock has taken notice. Rival teams quietly acknowledge that Quartararo's situation is one to watch closely. Not because of the injury itself, but because of what it represents. When a rider of his caliber speaks so openly about shortcomings, it tends to confirm suspicions others are already forming behind closed doors.